Welcome students. Today we will be starting with a new topic in operation research, that is simulation. Before actually going to the numerical side of this topic, let us first see about its basic theoretical part. Okay, let me start the topic by posting a question to you all, and the question for you all is, what is simulation? What do you understand by this word, that is simulation? You all in your respective field might have come across with this word, that is simulation.
Sir, to depict a real situation virtually, that could be said as simulation.
Okay, good. To depict a virtual or real situation virtually. Okay. Any other?
Any operation given in given time.
Any operation
In given time.
in given time. Okay. Any other statements for simulation?
Sir, artificially generated surrounding.
By the way we can predict the outcome.
Okay, good. So we got some various responses in some sentences. Now let me define this word simulation in a single word. So in simple terms, I can say that simulation means estimation. We just estimate the things. And how do we do that? What we do, we consider what were the probabilities of that event in the past. Okay, how we estimate? This is the process. The process is what are the probability of that occurrence in the past, and then what we do with this data, we analyze this data in the present. Okay, we collect the data of the same scenario from the past data available, we analyze this data in the present case, and then what we do, we predict the future from this particular data. So taking the past data, analyzing it in the present, and estimating the future based on the data which is available to us. Let me give you an example. Let us say my SEM1 pointer is around 7.2, my SEM2 pointer is around 7.5, then SEM3 7.8 again, then fourth SEM let us say 7.5, fifth SEM you get 8, and let us say sixth SEM you get 8.5. So these are the various pointers or which we have, or the exams which we have given already in the past. So now what we have done, we have the data which is already occurred. That means we have the data of past. My result of SEM 1 to SEM 6 is already available with me. The past data is already available with me. Now what I will do, I will analyze my result. I am analyzing the previous data and trying to predict my future. That is known as simulation. Now let us say I will make it more further complex, and I will say you that these are your pointers, and now I want your CGPI, that is cumulative grade point index, as 8.5. Okay, now I have given you the target that your cumulative grade point index should be 8.5 given the past data to you. आपके पास SEM 1 SEM 2 से लेके SEM 6 तक पूरा डेटा अवेलेबल है. मुझे क्या करना है, I have to analyze what should be my marks in SEM 7 and SEM 8 such that my pointer becomes, or CGPI becomes 8.5 after I complete my engineering course. So now what you will do, you will take the past data. इतना तो मेरा हो चुका है, अब मैं क्या करूंगा, उसका एस्टिमेट करूंगा. ठीक है, अब एस्टिमेट कैसे होगा, 8.5 पॉइंटर लाना है. दैट मीन्स मुझे 7 सेम में अगर कवर करना है तो मुझे 9 पॉइंटर लाना पड़ेगा. दैट इज योर एस्टिमेशन. अब 9 पॉइंटर लाने के लिए अब आप और डीप में जाओगे. दैट फॉर 9 पॉइंटर इन दिस सेम, in this subject I can score this much marks, in this subject I can score this much marks, in this subject I can score this much marks. And then what you will do, you will set your targets to achieve that final answer. So this is nothing but your simulate. You are doing the simulation of your marks. In this case you will simulate that, okay, my marks comes out to be 56 in this subject OR, my marks come out to be, let us say, 65 in CAD Chem, etc. And you are simulating your marks and predicting what will be the outcome of your result. So this is nothing but your simulation part. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, now let us see the another meaning of simulation. For that, let me portray some pictures in front of you. So again, the question in your quote, by looking at these 6 different pictures, what are your observations? There is,
सर वो कॉपी कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे को सर.
they are copying each other. Okay, ठीक है. This is your observation. Some others, what are your observations?
सर मॉडल एंड प्रोटोटाइप
Model and prototype. Good. Okay, ठीक है. This is your observation. Any other observations?
सर पहले 5 पिक्चर्स में ना कॉपी कर रहे हैं बच्चे अपने पेरेंट्स की, और जो लास्ट की पिक्चर है वो जस्ट मेरली कोइंसिडेंस है.
Okay, ठीक है. Good observation.
बड़े को छोटा कॉपी कर रहा है सारे.
This is your observation. Good. Okay, so there were 3 to 4 observations with by some of the students. As someone said, the first 5 are exactly similar, and someone also said that they are copying with each other. So the technical word which I can say here, that simulation means an imitation. In other words, I can say simulation means to imitate, which involves developing a model of some real phenomena. What we are doing? We are developing a model of some real phenomena and then performing the experiments on the models. So we are trying to convert the real scenario into the virtual scenario, and we are trying to predict out the results. So the first we have seen that simulation can be known as estimation. Here we have seen that simulation can also be known as imitation, or where we imitate the real scenario with the virtual scenario. Now let me take another example of a car crash test. Now in this case what happens, the actual car which is being crashed, this actual car is being crashed while performing the test, and after this test, if the owner of the car is at that particular point, the situation of the owner will be like this. But on the other hand, there is a smart person which is available in another company. What he does, he tried to imitate this particular scenario of this car test in some virtual environment, and see what he has done. The same car test has been done on the virtual environment, and now he has saved the money by this simulation. So there are 2 scenarios in front of you, one which is actual test, and other, what we have done, we have just or imitated the things or the real scenario in the software, and we got approximately the same results without investment, or you can say with low investment. So this is the advantages of simulation. So there are many other advantages of simulation, and as there are advantages, there also are some disadvantages associated with the simulation part. So again, question in your code, what do you feel can be the disadvantages of simulation? We have seen one of the advantages of simulation, and there are many others which I will share you in the notes. But now let us talk about what is the disadvantages of this particular method or simulation.
Accuracy.
जो हमने कंसीडर किया, अगर उस कंडीशन के बाहर गया तो फिर अपने को एग्जैक्ट रिजल्ट नहीं मिल पाएगा सर, जो भी रिजल्ट है.
वेरी गुड. जो हमने अगर कोई कंडीशन इसमें डालना भूल गए या उसको कंसीडर नहीं किए तो रिजल्ट कैन बी डिफरेंट. ओके, एनी अदर वन?
सर सिमुलेशंस more of is artificial thing ना, practical world situations are quite different.
Yes.
तो वो थोड़ी practicality मिस हो जाती है simulations में.
वेरी गुड. और चलो ठीक है. और
सिमुलेशन से डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है, प्रैक्टिकल में थोड़ा इजीली परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं.
सिमुलेशंस कैन बी डिफिकल्ट.
और बोल सकते हैं कि मतलब कि प्रैक्टिकल में जब ऐसा क्रैशिंग वगैरह कर रहे हैं तो उसके पार्ट्स को ऑब्जर्वेशन के लिए बाद में टेस्टिंग कर सकते हैं. सिमुलेशन में मुश्किल है वैसा करना.
वेरी गुड ऑब्जर्वेशन.
और जो जिस मटेरियल पे टेस्ट कर रहे हैं उसका एग्जैक्ट बिहेवियर दिखाना, मतलब कि सिमुलेटर में वो डिफरेंट हो सकता है रियल वर्ल्ड.
वेरी गुड.
एटमॉस्फेयर का इफेक्ट मतलब कि रियल वर्ल्ड में डिफरेंट हो सकता है. सिमुलेशन.
वेरी गुड. The cases of environmental factors are not considered. Okay. The most important disadvantage of simulation is it does not give the optimum solution. Till now, whatever we have studied, the assignment problems, the transportation, queuing theory, anything, linear programming, anything or any topic of operation research you consider, in every one or every topic we found out the optimum value, find out the optimum cost, find out the optimum profit, find out the maximized profit, etc. The all things were the optimum ones. But this particular topic doesn't give you the optimum solution. It is, I can say, just a descriptive technique which just give you the estimation or the rough idea of the final outcome. Okay, any doubts till now?
No doubt sir.
Okay, so these were the theoretical aspects about simulation, in which we have seen what do you mean by simulation, what are its advantages and what are its disadvantages. And with this, let us now proceed towards the numerical part. A bakery keeps a stock of popular brand of bread. Okay, there is one bakery which is keeping a popular brand of bread. And as we said, we need the previous experience for analyzing the future. So previous experience indicates that the daily demand is as given below. Okay. Consider the following sequence of random numbers. These are numbers which are randomly assigned, and this technique which we will be using in solving simulation problems is known as Monte Carlo technique of random numbers. This is the technique which we'll be using, or the concept which we'll be using for solving simulation problems. So random numbers given are 48, 78, 19. We will see how to use these random numbers. Using above sequence, you need to simulate the demand for the next 10 days. So here you can see that we need to predict or simulate what will be the demand for the next coming 10 days with the given data. And we are also required to find out what is the stock situation if the owner of the bakery decides to make 30 breads every day. So if he makes 30 breads every day, what is the stock situation of that particular day? And we also need to find out what is the estimate daily average demand for the bread on the basis of simulated data. So what we need to do, we need to simulate the things for the next 10 days, and we need to find out what will be the average daily demand for the bread. Okay, so let us proceed further for the first step. As we said, the first step will be to find out or to make the range table. And how to make that? Let us proceed with that. And this is the question given. So daily demand, the demand is 0, the probability is 0.01. The demand on that particular day is 10 cakes or 10 breads is 0.2, and so on. So with this particular data given and the random number given, we have to find out the simulation for the next 10 days. So starting with the first table, that is the range table. For range table, what we need to do, we need to make the column will be demand, then probability which is given, then we need to find out what is the cumulative probability, and then finally we need to find out what is the random number range, in which range the random number will lie. Now how to fill this table? Again I repeat, this table will be exactly same for any problem of simulation, that is known as the range table, in which there will be only 4 columns. First column will be demand, second will be the probability, third one will be the cumulative probability, and fourth one will be the random number range. Now let us start filling this table. Demand is already given to us in the table as 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So I will write down this demands as it is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and the probabilities of the same is also given to us as 0.01, 0.2, 0.15, 0.5, 0.12 and 0.02 respectively in the table. So you all know how to find out cumulative things. So first one will be as it is, that means 0.01.
Second one will be the sum of previous two.
Yes. Second one will be the sum of these two. So it will be 0.01 plus 0.20. So answer will be 0.21. Similarly, the third one will be 0.21 plus 0.15. So I will get answer as 0.36. Then next 0.36 plus 0.5. I will get answer as 0.86. 0.86 plus 0.12. The answer will be 0.98. And lastly 0.02 plus 0.98 will give you answer as 1. So this answer you will always get as 1, because we know that the entire probability or the total probability for any event should always be equal to 1. The total probability of any event should always be equal to 1. So this is also a checkpoint for all of you, that if you don't get 1 here, there might be some mistake in your above calculation. So you should always get 1 in this particular cumulative probability column. Now this is something new. You need to find out what is the random number range. Now how to find this? For this, just look at this data of the random numbers which is given into the question, this one. So you can see that the random numbers given to us are ranging from, let us say, 0 to 99, or you can also say there are 2 digits numbers. There is only one single digit number, that is 09, which I can assume it to be as 09. Okay. So my random numbers can be from 1 to 99, or I can say be specifically from 0, 1 to 99. Now how to find out random number range? So the first range will start always from 0. Next one will start from this range. So it will be starting from 1 and it will go up to 20. Why 20? Because you can see here the cumulative probability is 21. So I have stopped my random number range at 20. Now you must be wondering, here it is 21 and I'm stopping my answer at 20. Why is it so? So as I already told, my random number is between 0 and 99. We need 100 numbers, but it is starting from 0. So 0 will be my first number, and similarly 99th number will be my 100 number. So you can see there is one number less because we are starting from 0 itself. So instead of 21, I will restrict myself to 20 in random number range. Now what will be next? Next will be starting from 21 and going up to only 35 because here the number is 36. So the next random number range column will be 21 to 35. What will be next? Next will be starting from 36 and going up to 85 because the number here is 86. We need to go up to 86. So here it will be 85 because from 0 if I start, the 85th number will be 86. And next will be 86 to 97 because here it is 98, and lastly it will be 97 to or 98 to 99. So here you can see that we started from 0. What I want to explain, we started for 0 and we ended up with 99, which is the highest 2-digit number which can occur in this particular range. Okay, any doubts still here? Please ask.
No doubt, sir. No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, so again I repeat, the first step in any problem of simulation will be to find out the range table in which there will be only 4 columns: demand, probability, cumulative probability and range. Okay, now let us make the next table, that is a simulation table, which will be our solution table. So for that, again I have made this table or kept this table here for your reference, what we have calculated in the earlier slide. And the random numbers given to us is this 48, 78, 19, 51, etc. from the question. Now let us make our solution table. So solution table will be like this. Now as we have said that in the question it was asked, simulate the demand for the next 10 days. So my first column of simulation will be, or the simulation table will be, day. I have to simulate the demand for day 1, day 2, day 3 and so on. Then next column will be random number, and the third and the fourth column will be whatever is asked in the question. So it was asked in the question what will be the demand after 10 days, or what will be the daily demand or the average demand for 10 days, and also we are required to find out what is the stock at each particular day. So I have made these 2 columns as in my solution table. Now let us start with simulation part. So as we all know that we want to simulate for next 10 days. So I will write down here 1 to 10. So this particular row will give me the simulation for the first day. Similarly, this particular row will give me the simulation for second day and so on. We will consider with the last 10 day of the simulation. Now next column is random number. What you need to do, you need to just put this random numbers in this particular sequence only in this particular column. So I will write 48, 78, 19 for first 3, and for last 3 it will be 14, 68 and 9. Now this is the important step, how to fill this. Now you can see that the random number here is coming out to be 48. Now what you need to do, you need to check this 48 in random number range which we have already found out. So in this column you can see that 48 lies in this particular range, that is 36 to 85. Okay, this 48 number or 48 random number lies in this range of random numbers, that is from 36 to 85. Now what will we do? What we will do? We will see what is the corresponding demand in this particular range.
30.
So the particular demand on that particular day will be 30. So I will write 30 here. Now let us proceed further in the similar fashion. Now again the second number or second random number is 78. Again what we need to do? We need to check where this 78 lies in random range number. So again the range will be same because it is from 36 to 85. So as range is same, the demand will also be same, that will be 30. So I will write down 30 here. Next step, the random number given to us is 19. So what I will do, again I will check this 19 falls in which range. So you can see that the random number 19 falls in this particular range of 1 to 20. And because it is falling in this range, the demand for that will be 10. So I will write down 10 here. And similarly, proceeding further, I will write all the demands for this particular dates or for particular days. So you can see that if I give you this one, or let us say this one, for this, how I got, the random number is 14. So for 14, the range will be this one, 1 to 20, and the demand will be 10. So I have wrote demand as 10. Now, if we have remembered, in the question it was given that how much stock will be remaining in the bakery if the owner of the shop decides to make 30 cakes or 30 breads per day. So now you can see he is making 30 per day and demand on first day is also 30. That means demand and the production is same. So how much stock will be remaining as per logic?
0.
0. Simple. So I will write here 0. Similarly, on second day also he is making 30. हर दिन वो 30 cakes produce कर रहा है. So second day also he produced 30 cakes, and second day again the demand is 30 as per the previous data. So again the stock will be 0. But on the third day again as per the regular process, he made 30 cakes per day or 30, let us say, breads per day. But the demand on third day was only 10. So how much will be the stock remaining? The stock remaining will be 20. Okay. Similarly, again here it is 30. So 30 and 30 will get balanced. So it will be 0. Again that will be 0. Again 0. Again there is 10 here. So 10 is only the demand. So 20 will remain. Here 20 will remain, 0 and 20. So this completes our calculation part. Now is last is only the writing the answer. So answer, what was the question asked? Question asked was simulate. The first question was simulate the demand for the next 10 days. So this table which we have just made now is the simulation table which is simulating the demand for the next 10 days. For example, let us say on the 5th day the demand will be 30. So this is the simulation. So this we have already completed. The second step is, or the second question which was asked was, what is the average daily demand of the stock or our average daily demand of the cakes? So how we take average? We just add the numbers and divide it by the number of days. So what I will do here, see, average demand will be equal to 220 divided by 10. How 220? If I add all this, numbers of demands for the 10 days, I will get answer as 220. If you add this, I will get the total demand in the span of 10 days will be 220. Hence, the average demand will be equal to 22 breads per day. This is the average demand. The third thing which was asked in the question was, what is the stock available? So for stock, what I can write, the stock available will be after the end of 10 days. So you can add this. On third day there was 20 breads remaining. On 7th day there is 20 breads remaining. On 8th day 20 breads remaining. On 10th day 20 breads remaining. So if I do the simulation work at the end of the 10th day, I will see that my stock remaining will be 80 breads on that particular day. And this completes our solution.